Assalamualaikum and greetings to all listeners and friends. This time I would like to introduce myself and three members of my group. Okay, my name is Muhammad Hakman bin Kasir and my matrix number is 30-20F2010. Second, Vasan anak lelaki Valu, matrix number is 30-20F2026. Third, Muhammad Dawish Hakimi, matrix number is 30-20F 2030. And lastly, Muhammad Badul Amin bin Muhammad Ali, matric number is 30-20F2002. The topic of my speech is safety and health. Overview of warehouse safety. The warehousing and storage industry includes establishment operating facilities for the general merchandise, refrigerated goods, and other products. This establishment may also provide a logistical service relating to goods distribution. Potential hazard in his rapidly growing fast-paced industry includes to the associated with the power industrial truck, forklift, ergonomics material handling, hazardous chemical, slip, trip, falls, and robotic. The most common injuries of the musculoskeletal disorder, mainly for the aversion in lifting and lowering, and being struck by power industrial truck and other material handling.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Muhammad Badul Amin bin Ali. Now I want to explain about safety management. Okay, for the first point is ensure safety equipment is used at the all time. As we know, in the warehouse, it is vital that forklifts are used to lift items that are too heavy. Airwear and hard hat should also be worn when required. Employment should be aware of emergency exit, and the sprinkler installed in the roof should not be blocked at any time. The second point is eliminate any potential safety hazard. It is important that the safety check is carried out on the regular basis by all employees, and that the floor is always free of stray cords, liquid, and any other potential hazard item. Next is early label designated hazard zone. Dangerous equipment should be stored away in an area that is clearly labeled, and safety walkway should be highlighted through necessary signage. Point number 4 is always use safe lifting technique. When a load requires transporting, firstly, assess what method is the best option for the movement. Safe lifting technique should always be carried out, and the load should not obstruct the view of lifter. Point number 5 is provide training and referral courses. Ensure all staff are educated and up to date with knowledge about safety practices within the workplace. For the last point is to promote awareness in your warehouse. Having a sense of awareness in the workplace is an important safety factor. This can be achieved through communication between staff members.
Okay, moving on to the next point, which is safety policies. Keep areas clean and organized. Dispose any kind of trash and recyclable materials immediately. Keep work surface clear and orderly. Improve employment movement and efficient by grouping similar items in a logical flow. Clean up spills. Have spill controls measure ready at all time. Tape work area outline on floors to reduce spills and falls. Keep cable ties tied up and remove anything that could become a potential trip hazard. Okay, the second one is only certified personnel should operate equipment. This may seem obvious, but it is important to underscore. Never shortcut this requirement. Through certification, operator learns the correct way to load and unload a forklift, how to properly move and stack boxes or pallet, how to maintain their equipment, and how to guide the forklift. Okay, the third one is forklift path. Forklift and pallet jack path should be clear. If you are updating to a modern lithium batteries, you can get a full lithium ion charge as little as 1 hour, so there is no need to remove a huge heavy forklift batteries. You will no longer need to risk toxic spill due to battery water, nor you will be need to battery changing rooms. Forklift path may need to be adjusted and simplified. Supply and wear PPE. Okay, PPE stands for personal protective equipment. Okay, personal protective equipment should be tailored to the warehouse condition and may include safety vests, steel toe boots, and hard hat. PPE requires in warehouse has changed recently and may include surgical style or N95 mask, glove, and safety goggles to reduce risk of contagious disease spread. And the fifth one, inspect equipment regularly. Conduct regular inspection and maintenance of racks, conveyors, and lift equipment, which is the most important one. Thank you.
Okay, next, safety regulation. Warehouse operation fall under the general industry requirement, which includes the following OSHA standards. First, hazard communication. Warehouse operator should prepare and implement a written hazard communication, which is HAZCOM program, and warehouse worker who may be exposed to hazardous chemical will know about them and how to protect themselves. Second, emergency action plan, which is EAP. This is if warehouse owner do not have an in-house fire breach, then they should have a detailed plan describing the action warehousing employees should take in the event of a fire or other emergency situation. After that, fire safety. Warehouse management employing more than 10 workers should have a written fire prevention plan kept in the warehouse and made available to warehouse personnel for review. Number 4, easy roads. Warehouses should have at least 2 well-designed and well-constructed emergency exit roads located as far away as practical from each other in the case one is blocked by fire or smoke, that are regularly inspected for maintenance, safeguard, and operational feature. Number 5, walking and walking surface. Warehouses and storage facility worker working at the head, especially on the elevated platform, should have fall protection system to protect themselves from falls, which is among the leading cause of serious work-related injuries and death. Number 6, medical and first aid. OSHA requires warehouse operator to provide medical and first aid personnel and supply the commensurate with the warehouse hazard such as faulty pallet racks and racking falls due to unsafe use of forklift among other.
Okay, moving on to the next slide, which is diagram of risk assessment stage. Okay, the first one is eliminate the risk. For example, it can be something as simple as using extendable pole system to clean windows to avoid climbing ladders. Okay, the next one is substitution involve replacing the hazard material for something less hazardous, like replacing solvent-based paint for water-based paint. Okay, the third one is engineering controls involves isolating people from the hazards. Example, guiding dangerous parts of machine and around a evacuation, closing and noisy part for machines. Okay, the fourth one is administrative control is changing to the way people work. Example, like producer change employment training, installation of signs and warning labels. Administrative controls limit or prevent the expose of hazards. Okay, the last one is personal protective equipment, which we talked about just now, which simplifies as PPE, which includes respiratories, gloves, aprons, fall protections, full bodysuit, as well as head, eye, and full band protection. In some warehouses or in some plants, you have to wear a thing called coverall, which is a suit. Okay. PPE should always be considered as one of the last resorts because it does not reduce the hazard itself, nor it does guarantee permanent or total protection. Although it may be benefit of using PPE can include the possible prevention of exposure and potential minimize the risk should be expert occur. There are also limitations. PPE only protects the individual wearing it and not anyone else in the workspace. Between the theoretical and level of protection provide exist. PPE only effective if correctly selected, fitted using a care for an individual is trained, and the choice of PPE may compromise mobility, visibility, and communication. As we travel down the narrow end of the triangle of most effective control eliminates the least effective control, PPE is increasing participant and supervision requires to make control effect, but not the other hand if we have to travel up the triangle to become increasingly effectiveness and sustainability. Thank you.
Here are the some picture of hazard and potential or risk at warehouse.
Now I want to explain about risk assessment step. The first step is identify the hazard. The first step to creating your risk assessment is determining what hazard your employers and your business face, including natural disasters, biology hazard, and workplace accident. For the second step is determine who might be harmed and how. As you look around your organization, think about how your employers could be harmed by business activity or internal factor. For every hazard that you identify in the step 1, think about who will be harmed should the hazard take place. And the step number 3 is evaluate the risk and threat precaution. Now that you have to get a list of the potential hazard, you need to consider who likely is at the hazard will occur. This evaluation will help you determine where you should reduce the level risk and which hazard you should prioritize first.
If you have more than 5 employees in your office, you are required by law to write down your risk assessment process. Your plan should include the hazard you found, the people they affect, and how you plan to mitigate them. The record of the risk assessment plan should show that you conduct a proper check of your workspace, determine who would be affected, control and deal with obvious hazards, initiate precaution to keep risk low, keep your staff involved in the process to help you craft your risk assessment plan. Then review your assessment and update if necessary. Your workplace is always changing, so the risk to your organization change as well. As new equipment, processes, and people are introduced, each bring the risk of a new hazard. Continually review and update your risk assessment process to stay on top of this new hazard. Okay, for conclusion is warehouse provide many benefits. This may include real-time inventory visibility, reduced cost, and error-proofing, productivity or efficiency gains. It's true that costs vary from solution to solution depending on your needs. Okay, that's only for conclusion.